So I'll tell you, the things they want to talk about, the things I want to talk about are kind of crazy. It's stupid stuff in Jeff's head for 200, Alex. What are we talking about, Jeff?
Dang. Well, what are we talking about? Well, I'm back again. Same day, same shirt, and that's okay with me. We're still going strong. So we're back again, and now it's poli-sci. Why try? Yep, it happened again. It happened again. Joe fell on the stairs getting on the plane. Joe. I call him Joe 0.0 because he's not 2.0. He's not 0.5. He's just Joe 0.0. We're not sure what version he is. But, you know, I think it's ironic we're going to talk about that. Hi, guys. I'm Geoff Landon, your host, musician. Nothing extraordinary, but plenty to talk about. The mouth, the lip, doesn't matter. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Get out there, check out DAHL Media, where we're located for this episode. And, of course, more things like the Landon Way coming up and some gaming fun for the kids. All types of stuff, just entertainment in general, kind of coming from the Wisconsin angle, the Midwest angle. Hey, don't you know, we're coming from Wisconsin. Yeah. Or Wisconsin, as we found out why Wisconsinites get so offended, everybody, by Wisconsin. Unless you're being smart and it's West Wisconsin, we get offended easily. And why that is, it's actually Wisconsin. It came from Marquette, and a variation of the Indian name. Found this out today. Learning again stupid stuff. Jeff said $200. It was off the hui, the word hui, as in yes from French, right? And so it used to be called Wisconsin. And so Wisconsin, English-wise, is what it sounded like. So I think it's fine as Wisconsin. If you put an H on Wisconsin, you might come close. Wisconsin, like white, like Stewie from Family Guy, right? Yeah. Cool whip, Wisconsin. Yes. All right, there you go. Stupid stuff. Yeah, I said it. Joe fell again. And we talk about, you know, Joe Biden, and it's hard not to talk about politics and either say you're going to laugh at a guy, wonder if a guy's got it all there, wonder if there's a better option, any of that. And the hard part is we're living under it. We're living under it, right? But I got to tell you, I just saw an article today, too, that was kind of complaining that he wasn't going to the border or to Ohio for the train disaster and everything that went there, right? And I'm thinking to myself, so Pete Buttigieg is going down to Ohio. So they're already sending somebody, especially the guy who everybody thinks should be dealing with it, is going down there. And I'm cool with that. Of course, they're not going to touch the border. It's not a hot topic right at this moment, right? But they're complaining that he's going over to the Ukraine, and I'm thinking to myself, nope, I'm thinking there's a reason for that, and I don't know if anybody noticed it was the biggest joke ever, right? Like, think about this. Your president isn't the smartest or seems to be following his crowd to get stuff done, and he's just kind of being pushed like from behind, right? It just feels like the agenda push either goes this way or that way, or what's the news today? Okay, push me over there. Like he's in a wheelchair. And so then they say, okay, we're going to put you over here, deal with it. Say something, do something, right? And we're going to put you over here. This is the thing. Here you go. We'll write it for you if you're not ready for it. And now he's going to the Ukraine because Russia seems to be throwing a few more and really putting some neighborhoods into issue, right? And we were starting to get smatterings of that in the news. And I'm thinking, you know, you think about it, they're not going to send Kamala to a war-torn area. They sent her to the border and she screwed that up. So they have nobody to fall back on. Let's send Joe to the Ukraine and maybe they'll throw a missile at him or something. Think about it. Let's not send him to the border where everybody either likes him or hates him. I mean, everywhere he goes, he's going to run into that. But at the border, he can be protected at home, right? At Ohio, he can be protected at home from his fellow Democrats or people who like him. But you send him to the Ukraine in the lap of somebody who might actually shoot a rocket, not just hide a pistol in his back pocket, where they're actually firing guns and doing things to decrupt neighborhoods and stop people from moving. Do you think that was maybe they will do it for us? But it is amazing how, the joking started and now there's no more balloons. Now all of a sudden, forget what was in the air a week and a half ago. It was just balloons. It was enough to, it's something to steer you off of what's really happening. Joe's son Hunter. What? Yeah, there's a lot of crap going on in the media to confuse you. There's a lot. But the ones you guys missed was the thought process that Russia and China could get together to take the Ukraine and vice versa to take Taiwan. That's right, folks. The joke's over. If you didn't notice, the balloons went by. China got irked. China's even a little more ticked. A couple weeks ago, they threw, I'd say about a month ago or so, they threw missiles towards Taiwan, right? All of a sudden, I'm seeing reports on some of my military RSSs and news feeds. Oh, encounters with Russian planes at the Alaska border over and over again. Last week, North Korea shoots more missiles off. And just yesterday and this morning, China and Russia might get together to take over the Ukraine. And the first thought in my head was, oh, great, here comes World War III. Because all it takes is two powers to go hang out together, right? And start causing havoc on both ends of the world for the whole world to go, what the hell is going on? Yeah, the joke's over. And if Biden's sitting here when this all goes down, they even sent him right in the middle of it to see if they would do something about it. And you know what Korea and Russia did? Nothing. Because they're happy he's in. Because now they're justified to do what they want to. Because America's too confused about stuff at home because they're putting smoke screens up. Something's got to happen. Something's got to give. Am I anticipating like a sports game? Probably. Could all be a moot point in the end and maybe nothing happens. But you think that every time we get flagged by some newsreel that looks like a gaffe for our president, or looks like a gaffe by our government, then all of a sudden somebody else's government is in threatening maneuvers? It's like the dance. Oh, let my hand on. The other boxer's like, all right. Oh, yeah, I see an opening there. All right, here. They're dancing and jabbing at each other. The hard part is how do we know we're not falling, turning all the way around with our head backwards from our opponent? We do just enough to go, hey, we're watching you. Oh, by the way, I'm coming over there. On other news of poli-sci-y try, there's a new female candidate for president that jumped out there. Now, the news is imploring that there's only two candidates right now, Trump and now this younger lady, which is great. Options are good. She comes across like the 3-4 ladies the Democrats had a number of years back in their early primaries, and you're just, this is it, like this, But they said there's only two candidates, and I think everybody feels like DeSantis is probably going to be the other candidate, really. I mean, that we can see normally, who's fighting for things. And So I think we're just not saying it because he's focusing on Florida right now until the actual nitty gritty happens. And, even Joe Biden didn't come in till late when he knew he was going to win. I'll let you stew on that for a little while. So it's interesting the Republicans now add a woman. And, of course, in some way, shape, or form, I want to ask this for you guys. We're talking politics, and I'm not the greatest at it, and I don't like to get angry about it, but I think you can see I lean conservative sometimes. But, it's a gray line for some of us, and it's only gray by referencing the fact that black and white can kind of run into each other. And when they have the cliche of a fine line, yeah, it's a fine line to say you're going to walk that line, but most of the time I'll fall back to what I hope is the white cowboy hat. When I'm singing, I'm the black cowboy hat. When I'm talking about politics, I'm the white cowboy hat. That's just the way I feel. But there's this thought process that, the other party, if they think that who they got in there isn't good enough, is going to wheel out somebody else, could be detrimental to their party. They realize that. So in some way, shape, or form, the other party thinks their hands are tied, right? So the Republicans can announce 20 options, right? They can have 20 options for president, and the Democrats are still stuck with the one they got. And he's certainly not Obama. Certainly not Obama. He doesn't have the flair like Obama. He doesn't have the Bill Clinton sass or ability to get around just about anything. But I kind of pointed this out, guys, a long time ago. Like what we saw with Obama, what we saw even with Joe here, is they literally still somewhere in their cabinet have somebody left over from Clinton's era, which was a different era. I went into the military in 1993. We had Bill Clinton as president. The ironic thing about that is we went in 91, right? But it's not like the Democrats stopped. Suddenly we had Haiti and Somalia, and then we were back in the middle, of the Gulf, and we were doing other things. What was that, like the end of Clinton's era? You went and did a bombing, right? So it's not like the Democrats stopped it, even though they said they wanted to. And I hear all these guys go, well, I was in peacetime. And I think, yeah, so was I. And then I remember back, I'm like, oh, shoot, the Gulf War was 91. And then the second Gulf War wasn't long after that. Right? Then there was 2000. But like we had Haiti, I guess there were still police actions like Beirut. Was I in peacetime or was I in wartime? Well, we were in Iraq. The Somalia thing had just happened. I mean, we weren't declared war on anybody. So yeah, I was peacetime. I was peacetime. Again, like I said, they were moving on us. They were telling us to go some places. They were putting us in places, and they had security all around the world. That's all I heard was this guy's brother's in security forces in Brazil, for God's sake. Like, Brazil? Really? What do we got going in Brazil? South America? What is this, the drug cartels we're worried about? And we're in Brazil, so we're on the north and the south of them? Was that? I didn't fathom that we had stuff going on in Brazil. That's when I started realizing, well, we've got stuff going on everywhere. Are we really ever in peacetime? We're just in standoff mode everywhere we went back then, and now, this game being played where veterans are important, but philosophies are wrong. So, it makes a patriotic person look like a jerk. And boy, I'll tell you, that got me right off the bat. That, like, when stuff went down a couple of years ago, and now everything you answer has to be clarified by, I'm talking about culture. I'm talking about human beings. I have to general back so far and to sidestep pissing you off. No wonder why nobody wants to be social. Why a bar hasn't posted since September of last year. Why people going to concerts in some cases are crazy, and in other cases venues are falling off the face of the map when it comes to music. The state of the music union mirrors a lot of things that are going on in society. It really does. And you have war, or little wars, or now it's no longer, I'm just frustrated enough to pick up a gun and shoot at you and tell you I'm coming to get you. Now it's like, God. Oh, it was just one mosquito. Okay, next. Another one, got him. That's what our military is now. We are the biggest hammer, and we're using it as a fly swatter. Right? We're sitting back because that's even inhumane. And I mean, if we're just going to use a fly swatter, then use a fly swatter. But what do they do to put down a balloon? They pull out a $3.5 billion plane to shoot a missile at a balloon. That's unverified and still don't know what's in it. And technically, if you drop it from a mile up, it's probably going to damage the crap out of it, so we won't even know some of the pieces that were left. Don't we have our own hovering drones that can go pretty doggone high that we couldn't have at least just flown up to the thing and went, wonder what's going on here? We do it in space all the time. What are we doing? I don't know what the hell that is. That's a freaking mosquito. That's it. I'm going to pull out the 357 to kill that mosquito. It'll work. I've got 10 computers running my 357s to make sure it hits that mosquito. Wow. I mean, it's nuts how the use of our military is now a fly swatter. The use of our military is a fly swatter. We can't even be proud to show teams of men dressed up in the same uniform, enjoying or taking a moment and being stern and strong. Heck no, you don't see that in the recruiting commercials. You don't see that in anything anymore. When we would start movies with the silent drill team because it was impressive as hell and it made you feel like, man, yeah. Nope. Can't be manly either. Nope. Don't do that either. But yet, you can do this if you're struggling. And I'm going to pound my way through that ceiling. But if you do this, you have to be a woman. Think about it. Know what I just said. Right? Know what I just said? That's the first 20 minutes of craziness and, oh my gosh, just appalling things that Geoff would say. Not really. I'm sure there's 10 people who've said way worse. Stupid Stuff and Geoff said, we'll be right back. This is your station, DAHL Media.
So I'll tell you, the things they want to talk about, the things I want to talk about are kind of crazy. It's stupid stuff in Jeff's head for 200, Alex. What are we talking about, Jeff?
Dang.
Yeah, what are we talking about? Oh, man. I'm your host, Geoff Landon, right here with What Are We Talking About, Jeff? Now, that can be taken in many ways. What are we talking about, Jeff? What are we talking about, Jeff? Or it's, what are we talking about? Jeff? Yeah, well, you could be talking about me. Who knows? So I got my little pop going. I got my news reels going here. And I always love to check out, like, in the morning when CNN and Fox News toss out their first labels of what's going on. You can see either the very big contrast of what they want to talk about in order to either bash each other or how far apart they are on what they agree on as news. When they usually agree on something with news, if it leans one way or another, it's usually farther down the list. Maybe if it's something they really want, it's the first word. But if it's important for both of them, it's somewhere in their top 5. I'll tell you, they rarely agree on multiple. If they get 2 in their list that match, something's going on. And that's usually voting, usually something about a politic or the major event that from one side or another is being screwed up, like Ohio. See, the funny thing is let's bring up Ohio for a second, right? I'm gonna list that on there. We're on our second 20 minutes here. I don't know. Yeah, I think this is about right. The term is Ohio. Kaboot! Oops. The thing about Ohio that got me is we're now sitting here scrutinizing what Biden is doing about it, what Buttigieg is doing about it. But neither one of them are even saying, hey, listen, we're not on the ground there yet. Easily could say, listen, the local authorities had first dibs on that. It's no different. Like, they do laws that the counties take care of and states take care of. In this case, those were local people who made the decision to blow things up. Really, in all honesty. And nobody's going down there and going, what the hell were you doing? What do you think you're doing? Why did you do this? Right? Nobody's doing that. And I'm trying to figure out how we're not at least scrutinizing the teams on the ground for what happened here, or what they're even doing on the ground right there. There's probably a whole staff of police officers and emergency workers that were trying to evacuate people from houses. From what I heard, that was one of the first newsreels I heard of Ohio, was they're trying to evacuate people out because they need to do this. And I heard a reference to it last week now that it's, it could be as disastrous as Chernobyl. And I want you to take that into your mind for a second, because if you remember 3 Mile Island, we worried about the same thing. We thought we were going to have a Chernobyl moment with 3 Mile Island. And when we were kids, right? When I was a kid, that happened. And then they made a quick miniseries movie out of it, and then you never heard about it. And now we're going back, and they actually have drones going through Chernobyl and the complete ghost town it is. But you can there's still plenty of radioactivity, but it's not the radioactivity that'll get you cancer now. It's now just the remnants or whatever. At least that's some of what's being portrayed. And you're thinking in your head, we just did this. It's going to contaminate the ground. It's going to contaminate the air. It may not instantly remove people from the earth like an atomic bomb would. or in a few days kill people off. I mean, we haven't heard of a death toll from this yet, have we? Nothing. So it's one of those things where you're kind of like, well, this is the only option we got. And a bunch of local guys saying we need to blow this thing up. And I can't imagine the decision that has to be made, but they went, well, let's get everybody, within a certain radius out. And they decided to go from door to door, do some, whether it was volatile, maybe somebody said we had to do this. And what we see go up into the air, we have to remember, folks, there is something to be said for the ability to get that stuff up high and get it out of here. Right? I mean, we have to remember that what leads to dissipation sometimes is time and air. Right? I mean, it takes time to dilute things and get it out. Here's another thought, too. I mean, how many people feel like they lit that thing too fast? They felt, let's just get the killing over with, and anybody who's going to die because of it's going to die, and let's do this because we're going to spend so much in resources, we're going to kill our economy just bothering to suppress this stuff. Was it based on capitalism to blow that train up? There's questions for you. But does that make someone who's against capitalism, does that give them bullets? Does that give them evidence of what capitalism sucks? Just a thought. Capitalism is why the train was on the tracks in the first place. Right? But capitalism is why we all have houses made of wood and cement and not grass. And why we have smart houses now. The reason why some people who believe that capitalism sucks are also the same people who think that everything's going to be built for them and a phone will be at their disposal at any time. Society wants to move to non-humans making food and doing things for them, building my house, making my car. I don't have to worry about gasoline because we're going to move on from gasoline. It's going to be so much better for the earth. We're going to make electric things, and we're going to run on wind, and we're going to run on gas, and we'll be so much better for the earth, and us humans won't be making any kind of footprint that's going to destroy where we live. So you think that capitalism is the only reason why that all happened? That the bad things that happen in the world are because of money-making schemes. But at the same time, what you live in, what you go to buy, even those little things that you think are great for the earth have been capitalized to be put in front of you. Capitalism is about capitalizing on opportunity. Your opportunity is capitalizing on people who think that the world is going to hell. You're already a capitalist and you don't realize it. I kind of want to be that guy on social media when he goes, I don't have to force feed you with it. But you see that trophy right here? You see this trophy? That trophy right there shows that I won something, right? So in a capitalistic world, I can build you a trophy that looks pretty cool and it will make people notice that you did something. They capitalized on my victory because I have the interest of telling people I won. So an award maker was made. It was an opportunity to capitalize on somebody's success by giving them something, a an opportunity to show off their success and make some money with their talent to make something beautiful. So they make something that looks grand and beautiful so you can show off, and they make money too. So yeah, the world goes around by other people getting paid. I truly see that. Do I need that thing to say that I won something? No, I can tell you. And then I can go do it again to prove that I'm good at it. That's a professional. I mean, I see breweries. We come back, we do a brewery. I played Point Brewery here in Stevens Point. Love the place. Joe Martino, shout out to you out there and to the whole family over at Stevens Point Brewery. But Point Beer was kind of in my family when they were all college kids. You know, they loved their Point Beer when they went to Stevens Point. And so I knew of Point Beer when I was a kid, and I didn't drink it, right? And I barely get a chance to drink much beer at all. I don't, not my thing, but you know, as an entity in the world, it played a role even in my life, right? And so you have this brewery, and every year they come back with a new flavor now, or they come up with something. But one of their things was they get into contests to prove their beer is good, and that massive amounts of people really like their beer. And if massive amounts of people will buy it, that will convince the other few amounts that still haven't bought it yet to buy it some more. So they get into contests just to prove their beer is good. Hence, like Pabst Blue Ribbon beer, that's how they got their name, was they were an award-winning beer, right? But so what's that award for? Isn't that capitalizing on an opportunity? The opportunity is I prove my beer is good and you'll buy it. That's capitalism. So from the other side, they're proving that the earth is being hurt so they can make money to fix the earth or their pockets to make them save the world. It's capitalism. You're capitalizing on an opportunity. Now, the one that I remember saying this, and maybe I'm wrong back in the day, but I remember Kanye jumping in after Katrina and saying that George Bush doesn't give a crap about black people, right? And I so like, God, I want to really, dude, like now you're going to bring up race when people need to be helped, right? But, you know, people needed to be helped, and it happened to be a lot of the black community. And I get that. And I think it's a shame, and I'm so glad that we could get down there and help people, right? And it's one of those things where the interim, I said, don't make it, don't push a personal or political agenda during a tragedy, was my line. I remember saying that. But if you think about it, that's capitalist thinking. It's an opportunity to have lots of people hear you. When there's a disaster and people are looking for someone to talk and say something to make things better, you realize at that moment, people are listening with full ears, right? And so he's taking advantage of the situation capitalistically. He's capitalizing on the opportunity. He wasn't making money by saying that, but he certainly was putting himself at the forefront of a fight that we didn't think was happening. But to say that it's one person that's not taking care of it was pretty difficult at that moment. It was the fight that didn't need to be fought. It was the opportunity was wasted. That's the point. If you're going to make a point like that, let's be consistent and when and where we say it. take our time to do that, not the world's time to do that. I think maybe that's what I was saying. Maybe that's the moment. And it's hard to say because any moment is important if you feel strongly enough about it. And to make that opinion makes me judgmental, but at the same time, don't, it's what we call charisma. It's what we call a leader who knows when and dang well takes the moment to allow those moments to chime in. It's a very rare human being who can do it, though. But that's what we're hoping for to lead a country, man. We're hoping for that person who just gets it. The hard part is there's no more it. We've wasted so much time making everything a priority that there's no more it to hold on to. We now have them. Literally. We have them to hold on to. There's not one thing you can do that will reverberate through everything that was built. We built things so that way when Thor dropped his hammer, it could be felt by everybody and it would wake everybody up. And it was because it was a white hat cowboy in life that would hit that hammer and wake everybody up and things would move forward quickly. Because the system was set up to reverberate with harmony. It was set up so that way we can talk to people in harmony to get something done. And when we tear that apart and put holes in it, it no longer reverberates to get something done. It no longer has the ability to help. And the more we point fingers at who's not helping, the more holes we put in it. And that's a scary thing for a lot of us to see happening. That's the conservative view in many ways. That's not far right, far left, far whatever. That's right down the middle going, son of a gun. Can't you see that? We have no longer it, we have them. We are no longer the United States of America. We now have 1 million people who want theirs right now. We have them. Everybody's a them. They're a they. They're a them. That's their pronoun. Do I want somebody pointing a finger at me and going, they did it? No, man. Tell me I did it. Come to my face and tell me I did it. You know why? Because the many good people behind me that you're generalizing in that thing are now being torn apart by you. Heroes stand in the face of that. I would rather you come to me and tell me I did it. Joe is going to stand up there and say I did it, then come to me and tell me I did it. And I'll look you right in the face and say, this is what I did. Not that. If it's not true, I can shoot it down. If you tell me they did it, all of them did, all you white guys, all you Democrats, all you Republicans, nope. You've pretty much decided to punch holes into everything. I will go after one person. I will have fun. I will be serious. I will be importantly focused on what's important. Man, did I just sound like I'm saying a whole lot of nothing like a politician? That sucks. I hate that. I would be focused on what I'm trying to get across to someone that I believe did it or didn't do it. I would tell you when somebody didn't do it, and I would defend them, that person. But that's kind of the point. It's kind of the craziness of what's going on these days. Is we've poked holes into something that's supposed to reverberate to get things done. It's supposed to be in harmony. It's supposed to have the system with the way it is, because when it does rattle the cage, we all do something about it. Right? But nobody's actually rattling the cage. All they're doing is poking a hole in the small corners till somebody's got to put a bubble gum into it. And that's what's happening, is the next guy's putting bubble gum into that hole. Instead of stopping the idiot from poking the hole into the thing. Let's patch it with bubble gum. Whew. As much as you hate politics, it's fun to watch somebody spin in a spiral, isn't it? Wow! You've been watching What Are We Talking About, Jeff, on DAHL Media. Stick around. This is it.
So I'll tell you, the things they want to talk about, the things I want to talk about are kind of crazy. It's stupid stuff in Jeff's head for 200, Alex. What are we talking about, Jeff?
Dang. Hey! That's my song Dang in the background, by the way. That was just playing on there. Love that tune. Have a little fun with it. It's kind of become the theory, like, yeah, life is a crazy hot mama. And then it hits you like, dang. I don't know. Made sense to me. Maybe I'm wrong. So I'm looking at my newspaper, everybody. And they're talking about convicting somebody, support for Biden and Trump. My friend made t-shirts. Got that message, by the way, if you're watching. Thank you. And let's see here. I've been sending out some funnies to friends, and every once in a while, brighten their day, especially my wife. Sometimes she feels like she works so hard, doesn't have much of a fun time with life. I want to give her a chance to laugh once in a while, so I do that. Of all things, CNN is talking. This is one of their main ones earlier today. Was bad news, margarita fans. Wild weather is hurting production of agave, the tequila's key ingredient. Hang on. Don't worry. I got you covered. I got this as a gift from Jose over in Baraboo. This was an amazing gift. It's pure agave tequila. And I've gone slowly with it. I couldn't tell you, this is probably a heck of a lot more alcohol than what it calls for now. I'll tell you that. This is a bottle of De Leon, and I got it as a tip for a show we did. While we were playing, he set it down on the ground, and I didn't know what this, how valuable this was. But it certainly felt, once I found out, how just honored I was that he felt that strongly about our group to give us one of these and share a drink with us as well. So here's to you, Jose. Hope you're having a great time. Thanks for the tequila. So that from CNN's newsreel. Don't worry. I got some tequila if you need it. And it's probably going to hit you way better than some of those other ones. Telling you. All right, so put that away. Proof I don't drink a lot, though. Like I said, all my stuff's either going way up in alcohol or it's turned into vinegar. Wanted to get a chance, if I can. You guys stick around with me. I want to see if I can grab something. Stay with me real quick. I'm going to overlay this. Listen to this little break for you. Yes. I'm back, and I have to show you this, you guys. This was the amazing weekend I had. The amazing weekend I had was over at Solu Wineries and the release of their new Sophie's Choice Sangria. There you go. Sangria. Ooh, that's right. And this stuff's really good. It's a mixture of grapes, raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, and blackberries. Sounds like a fruit punch to me. This was actually really good. I did have a glass of this at the gig, and very good on ice. It's a good slow drink. It's a good summer drink. We had it in the wintertime, and it was still good. And so if I can recommend some, this is going to be their feature, their big one, Solu Estates Sangria. There you go. I'll get closer for you. Check that out. It was very good. Got myself a bottle, which was quite amazing. Thank you, TJ. See the Summer family. That's now going to be my collection, but I might have to actually not let that one get too far away from me. Yeah, that's right. So thanks for watching, you guys. We're talking about more things. We did a little bit of politics in those first 20 minutes. And you can see how just, it's not the politics that get me worked up. It's the strength that we need. And I feel like it starts pumping through my veins like a son of a gun. Now, some people may think that's patriotic or patriotic or patriarchy, or whatever you want to call it, because it's driven by a guy, I guess. But my thing is it doesn't matter what you are or who you are. The sad thing is I have to say that both ways. What you are or who you are. Gone are the days of just saying and being what you are and who you are. Now you have to make sure it's drilled into everybody's head. And it's gotten that way, that word of mouth has gotten weak. But actions still say it all. They really should. And my actions are, when I talk about the country and I'm passionate, I would hope a leader would get when it comes to defending the people who live in this country who really mean the world to him or her or they. Right? When we get up there, the whole group matters. I want a leader. Everybody wants a leader. Everybody wants a leader. But I want somebody who can also tell me like it is without sounding like my dad. And I want somebody to also fire up us as a whole. Not just look at one group and say, now, Jimmy, don't you hurt Billy over here. You both need to settle down and figure it out, and we'll be okay. It's not what we need. We don't need people telling our students to settle down. We need to give them something other than just pointing fingers at each other and causing problems with each other intently. We need to, have somebody up there who, when they turn and go, there was many people who looked at Obama and went, man, that guy, I love that guy. That's good. That's good. They felt that from him. I didn't. I felt a little bit of plastic from him. And it got worse. The plastic rippled as the years went on. And that kind of thing happens now. It just gets worse because of fanaticism. We treat our president and our government like entertainment. Like, what would happen if they were really gone, folks? What would happen if we didn't have governors and we didn't have a president? We didn't have police. We didn't have judges. What would happen? Are we John Lennon at this moment? Do we really believe that in some way, shape, or form, imagine there's no heaven, right? Is that where we're at? Where we have to imagine things being gone and out of the way, and we'll just have true happiness, right? That's what we hope for. That's why a song like that means so much, right? But what is it really saying? Is it saying, imagine we had no president? Imagine we had no government? Imagine we had no structure? Well, yeah. If you imagine everything that you don't think you need, it's a big white space that feels like it doesn't hurt. But that's it. Done. But that's not the reality. It's not a big white space. There are all types of things going on. And we can sit and float and dream. But we also have to find ways. Why does music sell so much like it does? Why do sports teams inspire people? Why do sports figures who have been around a long time inspire people? Because there's a harmony going on. There's something going on that reverberates through and through with people. When Kobe died, people just looked at him like, man, he was inspiring. Even though he probably had skeletons in his closet that a few people knew about. He probably had flaws in his life. But something he built in his sports career was a consistency that reverberated in people. And it made him looked up to. It made him a hero. And we don't look at our presidents like that. And it's because we scrutinize the certain details that bother us personally all the time, that we can't get beyond working with somebody, or we turn them into a joke in order to make them entertainment. So no longer is the relevancy of what they've done matter, because nothing's reverberating but the joke. And if we make a next person the joke and give no applause for their ability, what they actually have done, we won't get anybody who wants to get anything done, because they'll be made the joke anyway. Who was treated as a joke but wasn't ever taken seriously till he was there? Trump. And once he was there, they either made him the joke or they made him the black hat cowboy. And who wants that position? If you don't do what I want, I'll make you your whole life miserable. Sucks. So what do we expect out of the next person to run for office? Someone who's played the game so everybody looks happy, which is a politician, or somebody who is actually leading, actually takes a room and goes, hey, that's it. Why do people look at Zelensky and go, man, wish he was our president? Why? Because he just comes in and he does. Now, he's getting a little bit more media exposure, and it's starting to seem plastic yet, but I don't think he's plastic at all. And, you know, in some way, there's penis envy. You know, we wish ours was like that. Young, strong, dedicated to his people that he's a part of and knows where the help lies or should be lying. And I think that sums up what politics are going to be to anybody that can make a difference. So it's character. Build your character. And I don't mean make a cartoon out of it. Build your character with purpose and depth. I've always taught kids in sports that way. And I've always led people like that at church. You build with character and depth. And people may look at me and say, I don't have any. I've had somebody decide to say something basically like that about a day ago. And the way I look at it is if I keep being that person that would be the white hat when you need it and still being the flawed person I am, then I'm being as true to you as I possibly can be. And there's no reason to think that I would belittle someone else's situation because of it. I don't take lightly when someone feels like I did them wrong. Yeah. That being said, I want to get back to enjoying some family time, you guys. We've got stuff to get done around my house. We've got all types of stuff coming for you as well. So I'm going to get back to, I got to make dinner. I'm going to be Mr. Mom for a little while today and all week, I think. We've got plenty of laundry to do and some hanging out to do too. So thanks for watching my third 20 minutes here. I'll leave you with this thought. No matter how serious and how mean everybody gets, strength is not from just the words. Strength is not just from the muscle. Strength is from staying true and strong to all of it, for everybody, to understanding people, to learning, to when you make a mistake, you figure it out with people in mind, with yourself in mind, with all the good things that this can be, hey, in our country, in our world, and just hanging out and having fun. I'm still going to take it seriously to have fun. So have some fun tonight on thinking about what I just said. Know that it's all meant so you guys can have fun. You guys can do the things to just have jolly, I guess is the thought. It's true. It really is. What are we talking about, Jeff? I don't know. Maybe it's another day. Until next time, you've been watching. What are we talking about, Jeff?
Dang. That's kind of it.